Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you guys are. I'm here with Sean with Catalyst Training Systems. And every single Tuesdays, we answer questions regarding fitness and personal development as well. Most of the fitness is going to be Sean, because Sean is the expert in fitness. I have a couple of questions today. And Sean, you ready?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, so the first question is regarding accountability. So we talk a lot about accountability in different ways. Recently, I accountability buddy in regards to my diet. So I've been kind of neglecting my diet a little bit. I want to be a little healthier.
Oh. Lost it.
So I found it like I didn't want to let her down. That's why I continued with it. So I'm just kind of want to get some thoughts on accountability for you, and how's it important for fitness or in life goals in general? What do you think about it?
What do I think about accountability and its importance?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's pretty crucial to whatever you're gonna do. I think, like me as a personal trainer and a coach, that is basically the most important thing that I do as like a service provider is not necessarily designing training programs. Nowadays, you can go on the internet and find a training program written by like a reputable person based on science that will work, and it's not that difficult to find these
Mm-hmm.
days. So my expertise in designing a program, yes, like I do have obviously my own expertise in designing program, but when people hire me, I try and let them know that like the real benefit in having me is the accountability, right? It's having someone to report to who isn't going to be as easy on you as yourself would be or your friends would be, because
Mm-hmm.
it's really easy for they don't want to get on your bad side and they don't want to make you feel bad, and it's very easy for you to take it easy on yourself, like I had a hard day at work, or like this month is just a bad month, I'm going to start again on Monday, or I'm going to start again on January 1st. Like that's why New Year's resolutions is such a big thing. But accountability is really, really crucial to any goal, I think. And the most important part of finding someone to be accountable to is finding someone who's not going to let you off the hook, right? Like finding the right person rather than having like accountability strategies. Like if I don't work out, what is the consequence, right? Like that's what everyone thinks
Mm-hmm.
of as accountability strategies, right? Like maybe something gets taken away from me if I don't do these three things. Whereas it's more important to find a good person, like the right person, than it is to find the strategies that are going to be carried out by the wrong person.
Okay, that's a really good point that you made. So how do you know that if that person is right for you?
Mm-hmm. I would say, yeah, I would say you have to find someone who is either on the same path as you. So if someone who's not invested in the same type of goal as you won't understand the need for all the things that you do,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's a lot of people find it easy to like pick a friend, like their best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm going to be accountable to my best friend. Like tell me I can't have this when we go out to eat. But like they're your best friend and they probably don't have the same goal as you. If like your goal is to, I don't know, be a powerlifter, compete on stage, and you require a strict diet, the reason you're probably out with them is because like you're going to have a good time. So like that's their goal and your goal is completely different. So I would say picking someone who has a similar goal. You're not going to go to the wrong places together. They understand what they need for themselves, and it's easier for them to tell you, like, this is what you need. So I think that is a huge part of it, picking the right person, like, who has a similar goal as you. And then aside from that, like, trying to find someone who is impartial or unbiased. So like family members and close friends probably aren't the people to choose for the reasons we mentioned.
Okay. Now, how do you go about approaching someone to be someone like your accountability buddy? Like, because first you need to identify the right person. You said that you have to be on the same path, someone who could understand you, and also someone who will not let you off the hook. Like, once I identified that person, I'm like, okay, this is the person I want as my accountability buddy. How can I go about approaching them if it's not a close friend or family member?
I would say just being honest with them, and telling them what you're actually trying to achieve, telling them why you chose them. Will give them a better idea as to why, like, hey, I'm not your close friend. Like, why would you choose me out of everyone? Right? Probably because you respect them, you respect their opinion, and they're going to be impartial to you. They're not going to be super easy on you. And then tell them exactly why, like, you must have chosen that person for a specific reason. Either you feel comfortable with them, like they're not in your super close circle, but you still feel comfortable enough to ask them.
Okay.
Because you respect who they are, you respect what they do. So if it's like a friend who's a coach, maybe because you respect what they do as a profession or their position in whatever you're doing.
Okay. In your life, do you have an accountability buddy yourself?
Do I have an accountability buddy for training or just for anything in general?
For both in general, unless if you have a few of them, or if you just have one or none.
Okay. Yeah. Training, no, I don't.
Okay.
I'm usually pretty good with holding myself accountable and like focusing on my goals and knowing that I need to do certain things and not letting myself off the hook. So like training wise, no, but like normal life stuff, I would say I do, not intentionally because I ask them, but because like certain people in my life, like my wife, for example, will check up on me and make sure that I'm doing the things that I need to do, partially because like I guess we have the same goal, and it goes back to that, right? Like
Yes.
our lives are intertwined now and we're moving in the same direction. So like her goals are my goals and my goals are her goals. So like in that way, she is my accountability person.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. And do people use you as an accountability partner or as a coach?
Well, as a coach, yeah, because
You have to. They're paying for your
yeah,
services.
that's my job. So people pay me to be their accountability person.
Yeah.
But outside of that, uh, not really. Like I haven't had too many people approach me to be accountability people. I like being accountability people for others. Like even if they haven't approached me in certain situations, like I want people to succeed in whatever they're doing, and if I can help in any way, I like to offer my help to those people as a form of accountability for them.
Okay. That's really good. That's good. I have the same situation as well. I'm also a coach, and a lot of people, a lot of my clients, they just want someone to hold them accountable. Sometimes they just don't have people in their lives that will hold them accountable and not let them off the hook. And it goes back to not being on the same life path, or they feel like most of their friends are not in the same trajectory, or they're already the hardest working person in their circle, and they're always looking for someone who's a little bit more than them. I guess in your situation with your clients, they might be like the fittest person in their circle, and they need someone who's a little bit more.
Yeah.
Right. So since you know that I went through my vegan challenge this week, I have kind of cheated a little bit. I have been doing a lot of prep meals. So I've gone to Whole Foods and bought a lot of vegan meals there. I'm just wondering, do you have any like simple, quick, easy ways that you do meal preps? Do you have a routine that you follow on a certain day, or how do you go about prepping meals for the week? Because I know you're really busy too.
Yeah. Okay. So meal prep, I would say, is the most important thing to diet success for most. Um, in terms of what I do normally, is I'll set aside one day. Most people tend to find that Sundays are like an easy day where nothing is really planned. They have time off before the week starts. So Sunday usually works. Sometimes I don't have time on Sunday, so I'll do it another time during the week because my schedule allows it sometimes. But usually I'll set aside a block of, I don't know, 2 hours um, to cook all my meals, and it's easy. Like if you're if
Two
you're not,
hours?
yeah, and you
That's
can cook,
it?
yeah,
For the entire week?
for the whole week. Yeah,
Oh, do tell. Okay.
yeah.
Yes,
So
I think a lot of people want to know that.
yeah, so I guess it works both if you're doing a vegan diet or non-vegan diet. But
Hmm.
basically, you just go grocery shopping, have all your stuff ready to go, and I think the most important part of keeping meal prep time very, very short is to not make things complicated.
Okay.
I think a lot of people try and make things fancy, right? Because when they're dieting, they can't let go of the fact that food is no longer for, like, it's not a treat, right? Like they shouldn't treat it every
What?
day like a treat, right? And I think that's a huge thing because people go, okay, I'm going to diet, I'm going to have this many calories and stuff, but I'm going to look up this crazy recipe on Pinterest. So like I can still have chocolate cake, but it's like it has like 30 ingredients, but it's not actually chocolate cake, or like has something. Like the more complicated people make things is because they're trying to eat the same way that they did before they started paying attention to their diet. So that is like a huge thing for people. That's why it takes so long, right? If you were to just meal prep like I do and just like pop a bunch of meat or my protein sources in the oven, throw some rice in the rice cooker, steam some veggies, that's already like the basis of the meals. And all you have to do is weigh them, put them in containers, and pop them in the fridge, right? So rice cooker takes, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes, works by itself. An oven, you just set the timer. You just like put seasonings on, throw in the oven, and then veggies, you just steam it in a steamer on the stove or boil them or however you want to do it. But it's simple, right? There's like 3 ingredients: protein, carbs, and veggies. Where if I were to try and make like a chili and a flourless cake and like, I don't know, some sort of like chicken fettuccine something, then each of those meals would probably take an hour to make. And then I would have like 10 times the ingredients. I'd spend way more money. And that's why people think meal prep is like way more expensive, way more time consuming than it actually is. You got to let go of the food is not going to be fancy anymore, but it's just going to do the job. And that's what you need to be consistent.
Yeah, that's so true because I'm one of those people. Right? I'm
Okay.
one of those people. I would look up these fancy recipes and I'm like, I don't even know where to get all of these things. What's a tempeh? What is this? What is that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep it simple is what's important.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. So for someone who like me who's just starting out, who doesn't like I don't really cook, right? That's something I don't do at all and I have no interest in it and I'm also not good at it. For
Yeah.
someone like me, what would be like a good starting point?
Mm-hmm. For like learning how to cook or like,
Just to do meal prep to eat healthier be a healthier lifestyle. Also, you mentioned something about weighing your food. Like, is there information that we can get, like how to weigh our food properly and what calorie, like, I guess you weigh it to calculate the calories. So how do you go about doing that?
Okay, so nowadays everyone's using like calorie calculators. So there's MyFitnessPal is the most popular one, but there's tons of calorie calculators you can get. So
Okay.
What I recommend to people is get a food scale. It costs like 10, 15 bucks max, but it makes your
Okay.
accuracy a lot greater. You'll be way more accurate with a food scale. And then all you have to do is weigh whatever you're eating, most things you eat, after it's been cooked. So not pre-cooked weight, after it's been cooked. And like, it doesn't matter what unit of measurement you use. So some people use grams. It doesn't really matter as long as the calorie calculator, like you can input it in that way.
Yeah.
And from there, it's just like a matter of weighing it out and inputting it. But I think where people get it messed up is you got to have a target first. So that's what I do. I set people's like calorie targets for their diet. And then from there, you have like how much protein and stuff you're supposed to be eating. And then you pre-plan a day in the diary or in the app to hit all your targets first. Right? So you plan like a hypothetical day, a perfect day that hits all of your targets. And then now you have a menu of stuff to eat in exactly the right quantities. And all you have to do is eat the food. Whereas most people do it like retroactively. They do it as they go during the day. And then they get to the end of the day and like they've gone over their calories by like 500, or they have 80 more grams of protein to eat at the end of the day and it's 10 o'clock and you don't want to do it, right? Yeah. So like setting a target, planning to reach the target, and then cooking according to what that plan is
okay.
the best way to do it. And then the food scale just helps you measure out the point.
Okay. So having a goal in mind to begin with, instead of just reacting. I think I've been in that situation before. I started tracking my calories, and I think it was like at noon, I'm like, oh my God, I ate all my calories. Now I have to starve for the rest of the day. Yeah.
And it's like, if you did it the other way around, it would have been much better. But like, that's what happens. It's a learning experience, right? Like everyone's done it, but it makes it seem way harder than it is. And that goes back to like eating the way that you're used to eating and going over your calories, right? And it's like way harder.
It's true. Okay, so we're talking a lot about meal preps. We're talking about, you mentioned that we have to look at it as like food has to do its job, has to give you the proper nutrients for you to live a healthier lifestyle. Now, do you believe in cheat days at all?
Yes.
Oh, okay, you do. All right.
So there's like two different ones. There's a cheat day and there's something called a refeed day, which we use, and they're similar.
Okay, so what's the difference? I've never heard of refeed day.
Okay, yeah, it's less common. So a cheat day, its purpose is like everyone knows it as like a psychological break, right? You've been dieting for a while and you just want to break from it and you want to eat pizza and whatever you want to eat, cake and stuff. So you just have a day where it's like stress-free, just let me eat what I want. I'll get back on my diet tomorrow. That's what a cheat day is. It's just a psychological break, and that's mainly all that it is. And a refeed day is also a psychological break, but it's a planned day with an objective. So there are benefits to having days where food. It's kind of like in fat loss, it's like a 2 steps forward, 1 step back approach. Your body starts to fight you the longer you stay in a fat loss phase.
Okay.
Right? So like your body's main job is for it to survive. It doesn't care that like you want to lose the fat over your abdominals and go to the beach. Like it has Like it doesn't care, right? It just cares that you survive until tomorrow or next month. So
Okay, all right.
and fat loss is basically just like controlled starvation, right? Like you're starving yourself for your body to drop some weight, drop some fat.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of not what your body wants. So eventually your body adapts and then it says like, okay, I'm putting a stop to this, right? I'm going to slow a bunch of stuff down. You're not going to lose that much weight anymore. We're going to reserve as much energy as possible. So a refeed day is like on purpose. You're giving your body a signal that like, hey, there's food coming in. Don't panic, right? There's no drought. There's no famine going on right now.
Okay.
Resume your normal functions. Use up all the energy. We're okay out here, right?
Okay.
So then when your body is slowing down, you give it this little boost, and then your body turns everything back on at almost full power, and you start
Mm-hmm.
burning calories, losing fat again,
Okay.
right? So it's a controlled cheat day, if you want to call it that.
Okay.
You plan it for specific times, and it's a specific amount of food. Whereas people know cheat days is like, I'm going to eat as much as possible in this 24-hour span because like I have no idea when this is going to happen again. That's a cheat day. Cheat day is like wild, uncontrolled. Refeed day is like controlled and planned.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you
So
plan it? How do you know what you need to eat?
okay.
What you can do is they could contact you and hire you as a personal trainer.
Yeah.
That's one thing. The other thing is, what if they want to do it on their own? How to plan it out for themselves?
Okay. I would say first you have to. It has to come after a decently long period of consistent dieting. Right? You can't just have
Mhm.
it because you dieted for 3 days and now you think you deserve like a refeed. It has to
Okay.
come after a consistent period of dieting where you
Okay.
hit all your targets and you don't cheat and don't go over. So that's one thing. And two, it's the way that we do it. We kind of rely on feedback from the person themselves on how they're feeling. But
Mhm.
basically, if you've been dieting for a while and you've been consistently training, you start to feel not so great. Your workouts are not as good. Your muscles don't fill up with blood the same way they used to. Your strength may go down, and then sometimes what happens is you start retaining water, so your body weight might start to go up instead of go down. And you
Mhm.
feel puffy. Your body will look puffy on the outside. In those cases, that's good biofeedback to say like, hey, maybe you should have this little break, and then we'll implement one of those days, probably at 1.5 to 2 times the amount of calories that you usually eat on your diet,
Okay.
and then you'll have that for a day, and then you'll go back to your normal diet.
Okay.
So if you're trying to do it for yourself, um, an easy way to do it is like pick one day during the week. So like for most people, it's Saturdays, and say like every Saturday is going to be my refeed day, and the rest of the week I'm going to be good with my diet.
Mm.
And that way like you'll naturally find the rhythm of depleting your body and then replenishing when you need it.
You made about reacting to your own body as well, like because people would go on a diet and then they're on this trajectory and then they wonder, why am I not losing more weight, why am I feeling puffy, and then they kind of get down on themselves. And a couple of things
Yeah.
could happen there. It could be that they might even eliminate more calories or even work out more, but in your situation is actually the opposite. Your
Mm-hmm.
body is telling you that it's restoring all the fat because they're afraid that a famine is coming, because we've been treating it like a famine all this time.
Mm-hmm.
But the answer is to actually give your body what it wants.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So I think,
very, it's different. It's different. I like it.
yeah, working with your body as opposed to against it, the
Yeah,
results become much faster.
yeah, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Sean, it's crazy how time flies.
Yeah.
so much from you, and I'm really, really grateful for that. And I think while I'm learning, I think I represent a lot of the average people who are trying to get fit and trying to do that on their own. I think you're helping a lot of people, so I really want to acknowledge and thank you for that. Thank you
Hope
so
so.
much.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yes, and we're back again next Tuesday,
Yeah.
same place, same time.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks.